Checking fuses. Welcome to this first stop safety video. In this video module, we show how to check whether the correct fuse is fitted in the plug. We'll look at the function of the fuse and the differences between fuses in moulded and rewirable plugs. The function of a fuse. Fuses are used in circuits to prevent excessive currents flowing under fault conditions and causing a fire. The primary purpose of the fuse is to protect the mains cable and prevent it melting and/or catching fire under fault conditions. The type of fuse used depends on the power of the appliance. To spot the difference between the fuses, each is color-coded for easy identification. A 3 amp fuse is red, a 5 amp is black, and a 13 amp is brown. Fuses in moulded mains plugs. As these plugs are moulded to the cable, the fuse in these can be fixed by the manufacturer. They know what the maximum current is that the cable can carry, and the fuse is selected to protect the cable and blow if the current exceeds the capacity of the cable. The value of the fuse that is fitted is marked on the outside. All you have to do is to check that the fuse fitted is the same or lower than that marked on the plug. Here the moulded plug has to be fitted with a 3 amp fuse, as this is what is moulded on the plug. Fuses in rewirable mains plugs. These are plugs which the user can wire. Rewirable plugs have 13 amps marked, as they can handle a maximum of 13 amps. Many people assume that this means a 13 amp fuse should be used in this appliance, but this is not the case. The person inspecting the appliance has to work out the value of the correct fuse. If a plug is fitted with a 3 amp or 5 amp fuse, then there is no need to change it. There is very little risk of fire. If a plug is fitted with a 13 amp fuse, then you need to find out what the power consumption of the appliance is. This is usually indicated in watts on the rating plate. If the power is greater than 700 watts, then leave the 13 amp fuse in place. If the power is less than 700 watts, then change the fuse to a 3 amp one. This is shown on the following diagram. Never change a fuse on a working appliance from a lower one to a higher one. We'll now look at some examples to establish the correct value of fuse to use. Example 1. Iron. An iron is fitted with a 13 amp fuse and the power consumption of the appliance is 1900 watts as seen here. This is greater than 700 watts. The 13 amp fuse is the correct fuse for the appliance. Example 2. Lamp. The advice on the rating plate of this lamp says that the maximum bulb that can be fitted is a 40 watt one. The plug, however, is fitted with a 13 amp fuse. As the power rating is less than 700 watts, we can quickly see that the fuse is too high and has to be changed to a 3 amp one. Example 3. Sandwich toaster. This sandwich toaster has a plug fitted with a 13 amp fuse and, according to its rating plate, has a power consumption of 700 watts. As this is right on the decision threshold, what should we do? In general, heating appliances are fitted with a 13 amp fuse and this can be left in place. Example 4. Drill. This drill has a power rating of 570 watts and is fitted with a 5 amp fuse. Remember, if the fuse fitted is 3 amp or 5 amp, do not change it. There's no need for any action with this. Fuse labels. Once a plug has been checked for the correct value of fuse, it's good practice to seal the plug. If on future inspection this seal is intact, then this is a good indication that no one has tampered with the wiring or changed the fuse. This will save considerable time during subsequent inspections. In summary, fuses protect cables and appliances from overheating and causing a fire. If a 3 amp or a 5 amp fuse is fitted, then these can be left in place. If a 13 amp fuse is fitted, then check the power rating of the appliance to see if this is correct.